Hello everyone, welcome back to Sac-Anime's official YouTube page. I'm Joey Ferris, and I have another interview planned for you today. A few days ago, you saw me interview Cass Anvar, the voice of Altair from Assassin's Creed Revelations, and today we have anime voice actor Christine Cabanos. How are you doing today, Christine?
Good, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. Alright, so first question, kind of a general little question. How did you get into the voice acting industry?
How would I or how did I?
How did you?
How did I? Oh, okay. Well, since I was really little, I've been taking vocal lessons. I've had separate private vocal coaches. I was in choir. And the funny story is I was really curious about cause I've always been curious about dubbing because I've been watching them since I was a kid. So I found a little Wii mic that plugged into a little USB mic that plugged into the Wii. It was like a toy. And I was like, I wonder if this works in the computer. So I plugged it in and it did. And then I just started playing around, and then I got more serious about it. I took workshops, I met directors, and then I got little incidentals here and there, and yeah, and then just kind of took off from there.
It's funny because I had a little Rock Band microphone that I used to use all the time, and it just works perfectly, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
It's commonly stated that, because of course you voice act in anime more than anything, right? It's commonly stated that voice acting is tougher than any other kind of voice acting job there is. Is that true, and how is it true?
Like anime voice acting?
Yes, I've heard it's tougher.
It's because it's so much more technical. Like for original animation or prelay, there's no lip sync or animation that's locked, but we have to sit preview in the original language and then try to match the flaps, which can get kind of hard. And it's also difficult for the writers because they have to be able to convey the message that the original did in a completely different language, but in the same amount of flaps. So it can get pretty challenging, but it's fun.
I was watching some anime myself, but Japanese, not English dubbed, and I just imagined how can they convey this in English language? I imagine it's kind of difficult.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes things don't translate properly, so you have to change it, and it's
Of course, you have to call the Japanese people, say, can we change this, that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, luckily, they have producers in the booth for most of the projects, or either that or they really trust the director who's directing, but sometimes they'll have people come in from the company and guide, so you don't have to keep calling and asking if it's okay.
Well, it makes life a lot easier, I can tell you that much. And you're in this fighting game called Skullgirls, which I just figured out it's a play on words. Schoolgirls, you didn't really talk in that game. You mainly threw out some combat sound effects like hoo-ah-ha.
I have I think the most talking is probably just the attack names.
So what was it like just recording sound effects more than just dialogue?
I think it's actually a lot of fun. You just get to go in there, we have words, but it just it gets all your pent up energy out. You know what I mean? In what other situation can you go into a room and just yell your brains out? You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. You haven't been to my parents' house. So out of all the characters you provide the voices for, which one is your personal favorite?
Oh, that's so hard.
It's like choosing between children, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be tough for me. I always have a favorite.
It might be my firstborn, which is Azusa. Yeah, because it just has sentimental value because she was my first, and I relate to her a lot.
No, I guess, of course. The best characters are the relatable ones, because they're just those characters that we wish were real.
I also really like Squid Girl, who is the farthest thing from real that you can get.
It's a squid girl. What are you going to do? There aren't any squid girls I know of, but, just got to look hard enough. So what's your advice, general question again, what's your advice for aspiring actors who want to get into the industry?
I think just the biggest thing is, because there's going to be a lot of rejection and it gets really hard, there's lulls, so you just have to stay with it and not quit, because it's going to get hard and that's inevitable. So as long as you keep, chugging along, it should work out fine. And something for the more practical sense is to, things like have a demo reel and make sure, especially if you want to do anime, you have to live where the work is, which is mainly Los Angeles, Dallas, and there's some in New York. And I think they do. I'm not sure if they still do it in Canada, but
nobody cares about Canada. Okay, the views of me do not necessarily affect those of Sac-Anime, so calm down. Okay, so, wow, this was a relatively short interview, but I guess the shorter the sweeter. I mean, 4 months from now, Sac-Anime starts, so be around for that. If you have any more questions for Christine, you can like follow her on her social networks, that kind of stuff. Or the best thing to do would be come to Sac-Anime, or she will be, and we'll have panels for you. Get her to sign your stuff, guys. I mean, bring your own stuff or buy stuff at the booth, you know. So could you take us out with one of your famous character voices?
If somebody tells me they don't believe in hope, I'll tell them they're wrong, and I'll keep telling them till they believe. There you go.